Alright guys, the day is finally here. The Drive Syndicate 9, where the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut is the main dish, has finally arrived to Asphalt Legends Unite, and as always I will be having a quick look at it, checking the requirements, rewards and first races, while I let you know also about my thoughts regarding this event, so with nothing else to add, let's get into it. Many of you might be asking why did I put this Drive Syndicate 9 as the hardest Drive Syndicate ever introduced into this game, and all comes down to one single car. You know, on each Drive Syndicate you need a car from each class in order to move through the different stages, aside from the main Drive Syndicate car of course, and this time the thing is that the other S-Class car you need in order to unlock the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut is no more and no less than the Bugatti Bolide, which coincidentally was another Syndicate car which didn't appear one single time into the game since the Drive Syndicate where it was introduced into the game, making it one of the hardest cars to obtain up till now. So yeah, in order to get the current Drive Syndicate car you need another Drive Syndicate, which was far more expensive to obtain at the time, and that's why unless you are well prepared to spend a ton of this game, this Drive Syndicate is by definition the hardest and the special event with the most expensive requirements ever introduced into this game. But you might be wondering, if Gameloft is making such an insanely hard special event, it must be because the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut is worth spending on, right? Well, you know, even if it was, I will explain my concerns about why I might not spend on this Drive Syndicate at all. But you know, first let's have a look at the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut. You know, I wasn't expecting nothing extraordinary about its performance, and even though I honestly think that a level 16 on the right hands is still better than this Absolut, there is something that makes this car stand apart from all the others. Because if the Devil 16 has a superpower, let's see, was the fact that it could accelerate while drifting and taking corners, this Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut has a completely different, let's say, superpower, which is that it accelerates while you perform what is known as a straight drifting. This is instead of drifting doing S on a straight section of the track, you touch the drift key intermittently so you can get nitro while not losing a ton of speed at straight sections. Well, if you do this with the Jesko Absolut, as you can see on this clip, the car will accelerate incredibly fast, but if you, for example, try to take a corner, the Absolut will drift normally, losing speed and that stuff. So even though that in a way I expect this Jesko Absolut to end up like the Devil 16, this is, you know, nerf in the future, the Absolut is not as OP as the Devil was back when it was released for the very first time ever. The Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut is not as floaty as other cars like the Hennessy Venom F5, let's say, but it has this advantage of gaining speed incredibly fast while doing this specific way of drifting, so I think that it's even a bit underpowered compared to other cars around this run. I mean, obviously all the races I made with this car were executed with a 1-star Jesko Absolut, so obviously at max stats it should do way better than it does at my current upgrades scheme. Either way, right now this Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut seems to die in twisty tracks, but on straight tracks like Himalayas could be a literal monster. Still, I'm not fully convinced about spending on this car. But why? Well, you know, let me explain. It all comes down to what Gameloft has recently done with the Devil 16, which was another Drive Syndicate car released last year which just got nerfed during the Asphalt Legends Unite update. I spent quite a few bucks just to gold max that car, and all that led to me seeing the car which I spent money on getting severely nerfed a few months later. The cherry on top of this whole issue is that Gameloft said that this would just be the beginning, and thus I'm expecting more cars where, you know, I spend money on to be changed within the upcoming updates, which definitely is the last thing you want to hear when you are about to start a Drive Syndicate like the one we just got. That's why I will do as it follows. I have all the cards required except the first one, the Bolide, and the Absolut completely maxed out. Therefore, I will just max the first car, which is this Porsche Mission R, and if I advance through the event and I see it's not worth it, I will just stop spending and leave it as it is. If, in the other hand, I see that the event is somewhat comprehensive in terms of pricing and that stuff, I will keep spending the bare minimum to get the cars up to a decent level, and that way I will keep moving one step at a time. Hopefully, this careful approach will generate me the best outcome for my wallet, and if by any chance I don't get the Absolut, I will just try to find someone who spent on it, and I will ask that person for information about how much did that person spend to get it, and I will make a video about that instead of my own situation. As for now, I have just maxed out my Porsche Mission R, which is basically the very first car required on this Drive Syndicate, and as for now there is nothing else for me to spend money until the Ferrari SF90 XX Stradale, whose stage will be unlocked in a few days from now. I have hopes to be making a video showing to you all guys how much did it cost to me to unlock the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut by this time next week, which is when all the stages will be completely unlocked. At the exact moment of uploading this video, I have completely maxed out the Porsche Mission R, and since I have my Ferrari Enzo Ferrari Golden, pretty much like my Lamborghini SSI SUV, I won't spend on blueprints and epic import parts until the Stradale stage. I have got some Syndicate coins just to make sure that I have enough of them to create the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut on the stages where it's required to do so, and of course in order to get the epic import parts I could use in case I finally decide to go full-fledged for this Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut, which is something that I'm not sure yet. Either way, now it's your turn guys. What do you think about this Drive Syndicate 9? Will you just try to go as far as possible, or you are already determined to unlock the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut? As usual, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, make sure to drop your like and subscribe in order to not to miss absolutely anything about Asphalt Legends Unite. And I will see you really soon as usual with much more content. Goodbye guys!